So in this video, we're going to be looking at track motion in After Effects, and I've supplied you guys with a file called motiontracking.mp4. So make sure that you download that and then just drag that into your project area in After Effects. Drag that into a new composition. And if you play through this, you'll see it's a handheld shot, and we're going to do some motion tracking with the shot. Okay, so let's say you want to add an element to your scene, but you want that element to move along with something else in your scene. You will do motion tracking. So basically we're gonna track this pole here right at the top, maybe the top lamp, and then we're gonna add some text, and we're gonna make that text move along with the motion of this shot. So before we start tracking, basically we need to create an object that's gonna keep all the tracking data, and that's called a null object. So you can use the null object for other things as well, but in this video we're just going to use the null object to store the tracking data. So to create a null object, just right click here at the bottom, go to new, and then select null object. And then we're going to give it a name, so just click on that layer, hit enter, and we're going to call this tracking. Then we're going to start tracking our footage. So first of all, let's rename this layer, so click on it, hit enter, and let's call it footage, hit enter to confirm that. And with the footage layer selected, we're going to go down to the bottom here on the right hand side, and we're going to click tracker. So we're going to be looking at the track motion. So you're going to click this track motion button to enable that, and this will create a tracking point in your scene. You'll see two squares, and if you click on it, you can actually adjust the size if you just drag out on these little dots. The inside square is basically your tracking point, and the outside square is your search area. Okay, so before we start, just make sure you're on frame number 1. So just drag your playhead back to the beginning, and then we're going to drag this tracker over this lamp here at the top. So just drag it over and look for that lamp and place it in the corner like that. You can make the search area a bit smaller. When you have a clip that's really fast moving, you will increase the size of your search area if you have any problems with the track. But for this one, it's really slow moving, so we're just going to make it a bit smaller. Something like that should be fine. Okay, so now we're ready to track. So here at the bottom, you'll see you've got some controls. We can either track frame by frame, or we can just click the analyze forward, and it will actually run through the entire clip and track all the frames. So we're going to go with this one, analyze forward, just hit that, and you'll see that it will actually start going through all the frames, and this will stick to that point. So let's just give it a few seconds to finish. Okay, once our track is finished, you can scrub through the timeline and you will see that your tracker should be sticking to that one point. And now we need to tell the tracker where to store this tracking data. And that's why we created this tracking null at the beginning. So to do that, we're going to click on Edit Target here at the bottom, and then we're going to select that layer. So in this instance, it's called tracking. So just select that, click OK, and then we're going to click Apply here at the bottom. Okay, now it's going to ask us what do you want to apply, and we want to apply both the X and the Y dimensions, so leave it as is and click on OK. Okay, you can minimize your footage here at the bottom. You don't have to worry about all those keyframes that it created, just close that down. And if you look at the tracking null, and if we open that up, you'll see that it's got some keyframes here that it created automatically. So you can close that down again, and if we play through our footage, you'll see that a null object, that square is actually sticking to this lamp. So we know we've got a good track. Okay, next up, we're going to go and create a new layer. So go to frame number 1 again, and then we're going to right click new, and we're going to create a new text layer. Click on that, and then we're going to type something. Let's type tracking, and you can adjust the size of your text by just highlighting that text layer, and you can change the size over here. So once you're happy with the size, we're going to move the text to this area of the screen, and then we want to link this text layer to the tracking layer so that it will actually follow along. So to link this layer to the top layer, you're going to click this little spiral next to that layer, and you're just going to drag it out and release it over the tracking data. So as you can see, the text is actually following that point, but it's not really rotating in the same manner that our scene is rotating. So let me show you how to do that as well. So first of all, we're going to delete our tracking data, and we're going to create a new null to save the new tracking data. And for now, we're going to hide our text. So just click on the eye next to the text layer. Okay, we're going to right click, we're going to click new, and then create a new null object. And let's just call that tracking data for now. And then we're going to click on our footage because we want to track the footage again. and then make sure you're on the first frame of your clip. So just drag your play it back to the beginning. Okay, then we're going to click on tracker here at the bottom. By the way, if you don't see the tracker tab here at the bottom, just go to your workspace at the top and click on motion tracking. But if you're on standard, you should be able to see the tracker here at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to go back to track motion, and this time we're going to enable rotation as well. So currently it's only ticked at position, so we're going to click next to rotation as well, and that will create 2 tracking points. Okay, so we're going to click on the first tracking point, we're going to resize it a bit, just make it a little bit bigger, and we're going to drag that to the same position that we tracked the first time, and we're going to click on the second tracking point, just resize that as well, and we're going to put this at the base of this pole. So just drag that up and try and position it over there. So we've got a tracking point right at the top, and we've got a tracking point here at the bottom, and we're going to click this button again to analyze forward, and let's see what happens. Okay, once that's done, we need to tell the tracker where to save the tracking data, and we want to save it in our new null called tracking data. So just click on edit target here at the bottom, make sure that's on tracking data and click OK, and then we're going to click on apply. So we're going to use the same dimensions, X and Y, then click OK, and then we should have our null object right at the top. Let's just minimize all these things. If we scrub through the footage, you'll see that that tracking null is actually sticking to the footage, and it's also rotating accordingly. Okay, so let's unhide our text layer. So just click the eye next to that text layer again, and let's go to the first frame, and let's just reposition our text. So let's put it right there. And then I want to parent my text to the tracking data again. So I'm going to click this little spiral, hold it in, and drag it to our tracking data, release, and let's play forward. Cool, now you can see that the text is actually rotating along with the scene. Okay, so that's track motion or motion tracking in After Effects, and I'll see you guys in the next video.